Hi, I'm Lori Brown, and here's a grounding thought for you. For this moment when the ground has shifted again. On top of everything else, this terrible tragedy in Nova Scotia that we're all trying to process. Unspeakable horror and grief and sadness and anger and despair. What else would you add to that list? It's too much to feel. It took a few days for it to hit for me. And for those of us who are holding on by a thread right now, this could be an unraveling moment. It seems remarkably cruel when, perhaps for the first time in ages, we are understanding how we are all connected and we're feeling this shift in kindness and compassion in the world, caring for each other, for the vulnerable people around us. This great pause has broken open our hearts and has us paying attention to what's important. And we are listening and feeling more deeply, listening to ourselves and trying to listen to what the world is telling us we must change. So, to have such a tragedy happen in the midst of what might actually feel like a more caring world at the moment, in the middle of the COVID crisis, is particularly cruel. How to stay on our feet now? How to include all this new grief upon grief, despair heaped on top of everything else? When we feel it's too much, when we reach our limit, we break down. The intensity of the feeling that this mass shooting has unleashed across the country is palpable. Is it powered, do you think, by all the other feelings we have been trying to keep under wraps during lockdown? The sadness and fear and anxiety we're already feeling, are they not flooding out at the same time we grieve for these victims? You might call these overwhelming feelings you have right now a kind of emotional breakdown. It's also something else. It's also a breaking open. You are opening yourself to the world with all its trouble and sickness and sorrow and evil. Now, can you keep opening? Can compassion and empathy grow out of grief? Can you wrap kindness around your sadness and anger? Can you keep opening until your compassion fills you up and overflows into this hurting world? As if, like the Grinch, your heart could grow 10 times as big. Can you then include yourself in your compassion? You too have been hurt by this tragedy. You could use some too. We can retreat in private grief when we see evil and sickness devouring our world, or we can decide to go the other way and conjure compassion and kindness out of sorrow. What shall we do? Break down or break open?